With so many rumors out there that Marvel Studios is set to reboot the Marvel Cinematic Universe after Avengers Secret Wars, I figured that it's time for me to talk about the fact that, in my opinion, Marvel Studios should look at Mortal Kombat 1 as a template for how to perfectly reboot a universe while completely keeping everything in continuity. So for the purposes of this, I am going to have to provide some spoilers for the MK1 story. So if you haven't played MK1 and you care, I would say avoid this, but this is going to feature some spoilers, not all of them. So for the marketing of MK1, they were out there doing the press junket saying that this is a reboot, it's a restart, it's a brand new universe, unlike anything we've seen from the MK universe before. But as you get into the actual story, and if you paid attention during some of the marketing, you probably found some cracks in this narrative, and the story very much explains very quickly that Liu Kang, at the end of the last game, after he defeats Kronika, he pretty much becomes the ultimate god of everything, and he rebuilds the universe. Doing this, he decides he has too much power, and he makes himself a god, while also relegating some powers to other characters so they can also be some of the other gods, and therefore, this new universe exists. Hence why in this universe, you see some pretty significant changes. For example, Scorpion, Hanzo Hasashi, is nowhere to be seen. Reptile is a completely different character. Same with Rain, Smoke, Sub-Zero, the new Scorpion, and everything like that. As the story continues to go on and you play story mode, they drop a pretty big revelation on you. At the end of the last Mortal Kombat game, things take a different direction. And for example, the main villain of the game, Shang Tsung, he actually has a universe of his own and his own variants that start pretty much an incursion into the Mortal Kombat universe that we're in. But the one thing I haven't mentioned yet is that Liu Kang remembers everything. He, as he reshaped the universe, still retains all knowledge, memories, and everything that happened in the other universe. Same as the Shang Tsung, same as Kitana and others we see that were all granted domain of their own universe when they all defeated Kronika in different timelines. So this literally comes off by the end almost like a giant incursion secret war that you see the final battle happening. That's literally how Mortal Kombat 1 ends. A giant battle of multiversal characters, spins, different takes on characters. It's absolutely incredible. Okay, now that I've spent 3 minutes spoiling all of MK1, which again, I hope you played, let me talk about why I think this is the perfect way to handle Secret Wars. So, hypothetically, what we're hearing is Secret Wars is literally ending with a soft reboot. Now, how soft or how hard of a reboot you want, that's up to you. In my opinion, what they should do is follow MK1, because MK1 is jumping on the multiverse train that the MCU made so popular recently, and then everything else is doing it, right? So why not borrow from one of the best that anybody has seen if you played MK? So by the end of Secret Wars, they need to beat the Beyonder, Kang, whoever, right? So what if the ultimate sacrifice is somebody does have to become the new Beyonder? They're gonna remember everything. Essentially becoming like Doom at the end of the last Secret Wars, where he won and then reshaped the entire known existence and universe in his own will. They need somebody to do that exact thing. So what I'm saying is follow Mortal Kombat and pick a MCU character that's going to be granted the powers of the Beyonder. I don't know who you pick. In my opinion, you should pick somebody that fans absolutely love. So I think this goes down to 3 possible choices. You either pick Tony Stark, again, back and played by Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans back and playing Steve Rogers, or Chris Hemsworth as Thor. One of the OG3 agrees with the rest that they are going to be the one that lives with the burden, and they are the one that's going to oversee pretty much all of time and space and more or less remain as the new He Who Remains at the end of time forever. In my opinion, you go with Captain America. And you establish that now at the end of time, when he's picked to be the new Secret Watcher, the new Beyonder, the new whatever you're going to call him, right? He Who Remains of the Avengers. He now has the power and has to reshape all of reality into one universe. One sacred timeline has to be restored, and he's the architect. The twist is, he remembers everything, and everything that still happened is in canon, but he now must take all these other loose ends, the X-Men, which have no home, and all of them, and put them into the secret universe. He does that, and the events of the MCU play out, as they did up until this point, but now history is different. Events have occurred differently. Maybe they show us, hey, during the fight of the Avengers, guess what? Wolverine was there, played by this new actor. But history has been rewritten. So now, they're open up to a clean reboot. You take a couple years break, you come back with the next phase, you come back with the X-Men kicking it off, the Fantastic Four continue to live, and now we can go back in time, maybe retell an origin or two, bring back some characters. Maybe Tony Stark didn't die, and now there's a new actor playing Iron Man. So you're fully open to continuing the MCU with a reboot, and I put that in quotation marks, while also not fully rebooting and throwing away all the continuity, and instead building upon 20 years of legacy and history that you have. So for example, we get to the X-Men film that's coming, and Wolverine is in there, the new MCU Wolverine, and he talks about how him and Cap were buds. They fought in World War II. Suddenly the fans get excited, right? Well, do the fans want a brand new Captain America film? Alright, here's Captain America and the Howling Commandos. Now we got a World War II film that takes the events of the MCU, reframes it, but this time Logan is fighting alongside Captain America. Also, check it out, the original Human Torch is there. He was actually finished during the expo that we saw, the old Stark Expo. You remember that flying car? Yeah, suddenly they were actually able to use some of that tech, because again, history has been skewed. And having to place everything back where it belongs, now it creates new variables that nobody accounted for, and not even Steve Rogers or whoever is at the end of time could account for. Such as, where did he put Apocalypse? Oh, guess what? He's back in ancient Egypt, and he's gonna be awakened. And now, we got Days of Future Past coming that involves the entire MCU. And we got the Age of Apocalypse. And we got all these things out there like the Phoenix Force, which had to be put back into a timeline, which means that it was put back, but he decided to put it in the far reaches of space. Same with the Shi'ar Empire. So we can literally retread some of the same ground from a different point of view, add new content to it, add new context to it, and literally expand the MCU for a whole new generation, and if need be, retell some of the stories in a new way, put a fresh coat of paint on them, modernize them, and continue to go along with it. This then opens them up to another 20 years if they want, while also not fully closing the door on everything they had. In my opinion, it's exactly how you do it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this longer video. I enjoy making these. I don't often do them, but when I do, you guys seem to like them and some of my pitches. So that is my pitch. Now, some people are inevitably going to ask, please give us your new Fantastic Four pitch. You've talked about it. I'll get to that eventually. I'm still working out some of the kinks in it, but I think I got a solid pitch that honestly connects to this perfectly. But it's going to take me a little bit longer.